Hello students, I am Sanjay Manglani from Mechanical Engineering Department of Arya College of Engineering and IT. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the topic helical spring and its terminology. This topic is in the third unit of the machine design subject of Mechanical Engineering branch. A mechanical spring may be defined as an elastic body which deflects under the action of the load and returns to its original shape when load is removed. Springs are generally used to absorb the shocks and vibration. It is also used to store the energy. Springs are classified according to their shapes. There are many types of springs like leaf spring, helical torsion spring. So, what is the helical spring? Helical spring is made from a wire usually of circular cross section which is bent in the form of helix. There are two basic types of helical spring: compression spring and extension spring. In helical compression spring, the external force tends to shorten the spring. In helical extension spring, the external force tends to elongate the spring. In compression spring, there is a sufficient gap must exist between the two adjacent coils to allow the compression. In extension spring, gap between adjacent coil is not desired. It is usually wound tightly. In both the cases, the force acts along the axis of the spring. It should be noted that in both the spring, torsional shear stress is produced in the wire and not the compressive or tensile stress. This concept we will discuss later. Now, terminology of the helical spring. Let we take an example of compression spring. Here the small d is wire diameter of the spring, di is the inside diameter of the spring coil, do is the outside diameter of the spring coil, and d is the mean diameter of the spring, which is equal to di plus do divided by 2. The first parameter is the spring index. The spring index is defined as the ratio of the mean coil diameter, that is capital D, to the wire diameter, small d. So, the spring index, capital C, is equal to capital D divided by small d. Its value generally varies from 4 to 12. There are three important parameters in spring design, that are solid length, compressed length and free length. First is the solid length. As shown in the figure C, when the compression spring is compressed until the wires come in contact with each other, then at this position the spring is said to be the solid and the length of the spring is called the solid length LF. As shown in figure C, the solid length is equal to NT multiplied by D, where NT is the total number of coils. Second is the compressed length. In practical case, there must be some gap or clearance between the adjacent coils at maximum loading condition. This gap is essential to prevent the clashing of the coils. Let Fmax is the maximum force that we can apply on the spring. At this point, the maximum deflection is delta max. This gap is known as the clashing allowances, and it is taken as equal to the 15% of the delta max, which is the maximum deflection. So what is the compressed length? Compressed length is equal to solid length plus this gap. This gap is the total axial gap, which is called the clashing allowances. So compressed length is equal to LS plus 15% 0.15 of delta max. Now the free length. Free length is the length of the spring in the free or unloaded condition. So as shown in figure A, free length is equal to compressed length plus, this is the compressed length, plus delta max, and compressed length is equal to solid length plus total axial gap. So the free length LF is equal to NTD, that is solid length, plus 0.15 of delta max, that is equal to total axial gap plus delta max. Next parameter is the pitch. Pitch is the axial distance between the adjacent coils in unloading condition. It is denoted as small p as shown in the figure. So pitch P is equal to free length divided by number of these gaps. So it is equal to NT minus 1. So pitch P is equal to free length upon NT minus 1, where NT is the total number of coils. Next is the stiffness of the spring or spring rate. It is defined as the force required to produce unit deflection. Therefore, spring rate K is equal to F upon delta, where F is the force and delta is the deflection. Now active and inactive coils. Active coils are the coils of the spring which support the forces and deflect under the action of the forces. In practical case, generally some portion of the end coils is in contact with the seat. And these portion of the end coils do not support the forces. These are the inactive coils. Number of inactive coils basically depends on the end conditions, or we can say the end style of the spring. There are 4 types of end styles of the spring: plain ends, plain and ground ends, square end, and square and ground ends. This table shows the relationship between the number of active coils and number of total coils. For plain end and plain and ground ends, the number of active coil is equal to the number of total number of coils of the spring. For square end and square and ground ends, number of active coil is equal to Nt minus 2, as shown in this figure. Here the total coil is 6, but this first coil, top coil and bottom coil is work as inactive coil. So these two coils will be subtracted from the total coils. So the number of active coil is 4. So this is the basic of helical spring. In next lecture we will take the stress and deflection of the helical spring. Thank you.